For the record, I have tried to film this video like 3 times and I have not been content with my hair once, so this is gonna have to stay for today. I tried to move as far away from the light as I can, but it's still just making me look completely awful, so this is sick. I am, like always, a humanities student who will be making a video essay in order to get across a point of a topic called ability grouping. Academic ability grouping is basically the process of separating students based on their academic abilities as opposed to their age. With infiltrating this practice comes the decisions and consequences that parents of students must make, for they must decide if this practice will be best suited for their child. After all, it is their kid's education on the line. So today, I will be breaking down the positives and the negatives that come with ability grouping and why I think it should be infiltrated in all schools. First of all, the positives. For many in a regular classroom atmosphere, there is the difficulties involving having a different academic ability at different strengths and weaknesses with their peers around them. For example, if a student is reading at a grade level that is more advanced than their peers, they may feel like their learning is being held back because they are forced to stick to the curriculum that is created for their specific age. On the opposing end, if a student is feeling like they are struggling with their work and cannot understand the concepts no matter how hard they try, no matter how much help they receive, they are still forced to stick to that specific curriculum because, again, it is based on their age level. By infiltrating ability grouping, students will be able to work with peers around them that are learning at the exact same level as them. Teachers will also be able to create specialized curriculums for each specific ability group, and that way the students inside that group can excel academically because they are playing on their strengths and not their weaknesses. Another positive effect of ability grouping is that a student will be able to be exposed to more enriched content to what they are already previously learning. With a student excelling over their peers and being moved to a more advanced ability group, that student will be able to excel and be able to challenge themselves with more enriched, more difficult content that they might not have been exposed to in their previous ability group or previous classroom setting. Along with this, if a student is working with peers that are older or younger than them, if they are older, they're able to help them out with the knowledge that they already know, and if they're younger, they can ask an older student for more help, again, as opposed to asking an educator if they don't feel comfortable doing so. A student may also be separated by specific subjects to aid their learning. For example, if a student is excelling in math and it has gotten to the point where teachers feel like that student would benefit more from being moved up to a higher level ability group, then they are able to do so. If that same student is not exactly the best in languages, then they can stay in the ability group they originally assigned and be able to work on their own weaknesses involving that. Now the negatives. The most common question asked with this practice is what criteria will students be separated by? Would all students go through a standardized grade level test to determine what ability group they will be put into, or will a student be moved into another ability group as their learning begins to progress over the years? The concept of an ability group itself may also be kind of confusing because if a student is reading above their grade level in the 1st grade and so is a student in the 6th grade, are those two students automatically put into the same ability group? Not only could this make this more difficult for educators, but for the students themselves. Students might just be too young to work with older students or lack the maturity to do so, as well as the idea that parents might want their student to be learning with other students that are the same age as them. Teachers might also have the problem of comprising the actual curriculum itself due to the fact that they must choose content that is appropriate for older and younger students. The question involving the students themselves, and if they understand that the segregation involved in the academic ability grouping is strictly based on their academic abilities. Those students who are in a higher level ability group may feel like they have more benefits than the younger students, therefore they feel like they are entitled to treat them differently. There might also be the problem involving the students within the actual ability groups themselves. There are a bunch of students in the 8th grade learning with a younger student. The younger student might feel a little bit uncomfortable learning with the older students, approaching them for help, or also might just feel left out due to the fact that there is a large age gap. It might also be harder for them to work together or to socialize due to the fact, like I said, that there is that large age gap. This may be a very beneficial process for students in the future. There is also the negative effects involving the actual implementation of the process itself, as well as the effectiveness and if this process will actually work. By taking into account the different academic abilities of students, the positive consequences that could occur from separating them, as well as the academic success they could show from the academic ability grouping, the decision for parents whether or not their child should be involved in this process should be fairly easy.